Thank you for joining me. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute and 40 seconds. Thank you for joining me. We will be starting in approximately 1 minute and 14 seconds. We will be starting in approximately 30 seconds. Hi, and thank you for joining me on this early but wet Thursday afternoon. My name is Wayne from Ascend Custom Designs. I'm a small business owner and a part of the xTool Squad program. So what is the xTool Squad? Well, the xTool Squad is a global network of experienced makers, educators, and small business owners such as myself. We offer one-on-one demos of the xTool products that we own and use for our business or hobby. And the demos are a mix of online and in person. It really depends on the host that you choose or the squad member. Some squad members will also offer material testing and skill training. So material testing involves testing customer supplied samples under a number of different parameters to get you perfect results. Whereas skill training is essentially a one-on-one masterclass with an xTool squad member. If you was to reach out to me, say, Wayne, I need skill training, my first question would be, what areas do you need? Some people, I give them training all over in all the different aspects, so on the software and the hardware, whereas other people are more tech savvy and have no issues with the software side of things. It's the hardware aspect that scares them. It might be maintenance or cleaning. So it's very much a tailored program to what you want to get out of it. Now, the material testing and skill training are paid for solutions, and that money goes directly to the host. So depending on which host you select, they've got set fees for skill training and material testing. If we're talking about product demonstration, it's absolutely free. So right now, xTool's still running this promotion whereby all product demos are absolutely free. You don't need to enter in any credit card or debit card information. All you need to enter is your contact information and if you want it to be online or in person. Now, if you're thinking, what do the people that host you get out of it? Well, xTool will pay us for our time. So you pay nothing, but xTool pays us. Now, I should be transparent and say that if you do go on to buy a machine, the host that you go with will make a small commission. But if you go away not buying a machine, we get paid for our time regardless. So it's a fantastic opportunity for you to be able to experience the machines in person if you choose an in-person demo. The online demos are absolutely fantastic, but I always advise people, where possible, if you live in a big town or maybe you live near a host, I would always recommend you go there where possible. I know that's not always possible, which is why online is fantastic. And if I was to just show you where you go online, so if we switch over to the xTool website, what I'll do is I'll just hide my face. This is the UK version of the xTool website, so uk.xtool.com. If you go to xtool.com, it will promote you to go to your local region of xTool. Now, along the top, you have these different options. Now, what we want to have a look at is local support, free product demo. When we click on that, it will take us to here. And as you can see here, absolutely free. All their product range, absolutely free. If we're talking that you want an apparel printer sample film, so a printed film that's sent to you, there is a cost to that. That's not a product demo. But if you want to see an actual demonstration of the apparel printer, that's absolutely free. Now, in this case, we've chose in person. We're in Edinburgh, say, and we're looking for the metal fab. So now if we scroll down, we can see Robert is the closest to us. So 25 miles away. Now, we have a couple of options here. If we want to book Robert, we simply hit continue. If I was to click on Robert, it opens up in a new tab and I can see a little bit of information about Robert. And again, I can book it here. So if we have a look at Robert, he's just outside of Edinburgh and he loves restoring classic cars. If you've not seen some of Robert's work, I highly recommend you reach out to him. The metal fab is absolutely fantastic. If I had the space and the need for this device here in the office, I would snatch it up in a heartbeat. So if you're looking to book a demo, it's just a simple case of selecting the host, hitting continue, selecting a date and time that fits you. Maybe it's 8 to 9 p.m. at night on Friday. I hit continue and it's as simple as that. I enter in my contact information and your booking will be confirmed. So you can see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're already more than halfway through it. So it's literally that simple. The host will then reach out to you and you'll be set to go. So if you book an in-person demo, when the host accepts it, you'll be sent their address. For me, when people book in-person demos with me, they do get my address, but they don't get the full address because sometimes people don't turn up. So a host will reach out to you honestly, and I always confirm with my customers either verbally on the phone or over text message. So I do email, but I try to get a more instant response. So the hosts are really good at that and they will reach out to you. If you book it way in advance, so if you book a demo, say a week out, and you don't hear anything back in 2 days, a host that you book with has 2 days, 48 hours to accept or decline your request. And if not, it will be redistributed to a different host. So if it's online, it's not typically a problem. Obviously, if it's in person, you're choosing in person for a reason. So do watch out for that. So it's literally that simple to book an in-person or online demo. So what we'll do now is we'll go to the workshop. So I have 3 machines here in the office. I have the M2, the F2, and the F2 Ultra UV. Just turn on the AC. And what we'll do is we'll concentrate more on the F2 today. So I want to go through and specifically concentrate on one machine. So I'm going to concentrate on the F2. And what I'll do is I'll show you a physical little tour of the F2. I have the Air Purifier Go, and we'll cover what that is on xTool's website. And then we'll jump straight into the xTool Studio. We will cover the X1. So xTool have announced a brand new machine, and I am dying to wait to see what it can do. So if we just jump into that first and get that out of the way, then we can start having fun and we will crack on. So xTool have announced the X1 and the tech launch event is today. So if you're willing to stay up to 11 p.m. tonight UK time, you can tune in online. And what I'll do is I will drop in the contact information about that in the comments. So you can view it live either on Facebook or YouTube. I'm going to watch live on YouTube at 11 tonight. And it's a 3-day event, but they're announcing the tech specs today. So it's fantastic. And just to show you some of the stuff that xTool has released, some of the teaser trailers, I guess, some of the teasers, the spoilers that they've been dropping, I will show you a speed test. I will show you a detailed engrave of this machine. And then I'll show you the most recent video they dropped. And I'll mute myself while that is in progress. So this is a real-time, or I shouldn't say real-time, 10 times speed video of X1 and a third-party laser, and it's engraving the same material with the same design, and it's done in 3 minutes and 5 seconds. Now the other machine, as you can see, is still going. It's finally stopped, and it's the same design as took 1 hour, 24 minutes and 15 seconds. And no, this isn't trickery. The difference is the X1 is a flying galvo laser, whereas the machine below it, the third-party machine, is just a gantry-based machine. So flying galvo is essentially a gantry-based machine. So gantry-based machines work on an X, Y, and Z axis. They move the laser head around, and they are slow when compared to a galvo laser. Now, a galvo laser has a couple of mirrors in its laser head or laser source, and what it does is it bounces, it shoots the laser into the mirrors, and the mirrors move around, make micro adjustments that enable it to bounce around the bed very quickly. So it can engrave at very rapid speeds, but one of the downsides of a galvo laser is it's seriously smaller in compared to work area in compared to a gantry-based system. So if you have a look at the F2, for example, that I'm going to show you today, that is a galvo-based machine, and it has a very tiny work area. Even the Ultras have a small work area when compared to a gantry-based system. So gantry-based systems for xTool include the S1, the M1, Ultra series, the M2, the P2S, P3. They're all gantry-based systems. Now the F series is all galvo lasers. So the F2, the F1, that's now discontinued, I believe, is a galvo laser, as well as the Ultras. Yes, there is a discount, Ryan. So if you're looking for one of those machines, reach out to me. I'll be happy to offer you a discount. So just let me know what machine you're looking at, and I can speak to xTool and see what discount we can offer you. So discounts are available. Now, if we jump over to the detailed engrave, so this is the X1 and this is the other laser. This is officially on xTool's YouTube page as well as Facebook. So please do check it out. So you can see that it's a fast laser, but the details are not lacking. Now, if I was to drop you, yep, that's not a problem. That's not a problem, Ryan. We can help you out no matter what country you're in. So I'm more than happy to help you out. Yeah, just drop me a message. So my contact information's on the screen. So feel free to reach out to me. Now, if I show you a video, I'm going to mute myself when I play this. So this is a teaser trailer that xTool has dropped.
For years, different materials meant different lasers. That's why we started with diode laser, then brought CO2, fiber, MOPA, and UV lasers into the desktop world, so every material could get the engraving quality it deserves. But you still needed multiple machines. What if the rules changed? All the best lasers built into one.
So that was the video, and this is the official xTool post from their Facebook group. So if you want to have a look and join that Facebook group, I highly recommend it. What I'll do is I will drop those details in the comments right now. So if you want to join this Facebook group and learn more information as time progresses, I highly recommend you check this out. So this is xTool's official Facebook group that I've just dropped in the comments. Now, xTool have posted this post: what defines the next generation of lasers? From diode and CO2 to fiber, MOPA and UV, xTool has kept expanding what desktop lasers can do across more materials and more applications. But more capabilities still meant more machines. What if they could all come together? All the best lasers built into one. The next generation is about to be revealed. So flying galvos are nothing new. So flying galvos is essentially a galvo laser that is mounted onto an X, Y, and Z gantry-based system. So it will physically move around, and there's a lot of moving parts in that, and it's not a simple feat to do that. So you might be saying, well, I've always said that xTool innovates, they don't just copy competition, and you're absolutely right. So what makes this difference, what makes a big difference in this case, is the multiple lasers. My guess is the laser head will just snap off and snap on a different one. Now that is groundbreaking. So for example, I might say I only need a diode laser for the moment. I need to engrave very quickly, but I need the space. I'm engraving big chopping boards that are too big to fit in the F2 or maybe the F2 Ultra. So I'll be able to put that in there, and I'll buy the X1 diode version. Now, I might have a need for a customer to cut out acrylic. And if you know anything about lasers, CO2 machines are the go-to for cutting out acrylic. So you can cut dark colors on a diode laser, but if we're talking about clear or very opaque colors, you need a CO2 laser. So I can use that same laser now. I just buy a different head, I snap it in, and boom, I'm good. And I get the speed of a galvo laser. So that's what I'm anticipating. I don't know any more information than what has been listed. So I'm absolutely ecstatic to hear that this is coming our way. I don't know when it will drop, when it will be available for sale, how much it will cost. I anticipate it will cost more than most of their machines. But if you only want one laser, I imagine it will be very affordable. And then as the business needs, you can upgrade the laser source without having to buy a completely new machine. So to me, this makes business sense. And again, if you want to find out more information, reach out to the Facebook group, join the YouTube link and the Facebook link live tonight at 11 p.m. UK time for the tech launch. And you'll find out more information. I'll be tuning in as well. And like I said, I don't know anything more than what's been publicly posted. So I can't wait. Now, if we jump into the F2, so what the F2 is, I'll give you a physical tour of it. So if we jump straight into that, and I'll show you. So this is the xTool F2. And if I just wake it up from its slumber, there we go. So in terms of bed size, so this is a galvo-based laser. And if we go over the tech specs, so I've just showed you the machine now, what it physically looks like. I'll do a little tour. I'll spin it around and just show you what I've got attached. But if I fire up the slide that has the tech specs of the F2, so what is it? So the F2, just the F2, so not the F2 Ultra or the F2 Ultra UV. This is just the plain old F2. This is a dual source laser. So it has a 5-watt infrared laser, which is amazing for marking metal, and a 15-watt diode laser. So it has 2 different laser sources that operate on 2 very different wavelengths. So because of that, it's able to engrave on well over 300 plus materials. As you can see on the image in front of you, it has a handle. It's very portable. It's about 4.6 kilograms in weight. The one I have here in the office, because I have the Air Purifier Go attached to the back, it's a little bit heavier, but it's an all-in-one solution in the sense of I can take that then anywhere and I can use it safely around people. Now, in terms of speeds, this has a max speed of 6,000 millimeters a second. And you might say, what does that mean? If I was to switch over to a gantry-based machine, so if I was to show you the M2, it has a max speed here of 600, and that's because this machine, the M2, has to physically move on an X, Y, and Z axis. So it has a massive work area, but it's much slower. So we switch back over to the F2. You can see 6,000 millimeters a second. That's 10 times faster. Now, this machine is jam-packed with technology. It has a 50 megapixel camera that allows a live workspace snapshot of what's in there, and I'll show you what that means when we demo it. So in a nutshell, I will put something in there, say a bottle opener. It will take a picture, and I can align my design onto the snapshot of the bed. Now, when the laser is fully focused, that 50 megapixel camera has an alignment accuracy of 0.2 millimeters. That's amazing accuracy. Now, this machine comes pre-assembled. It's ready to use once unboxed. It's very well packaged. And you do have to do a calibration test, as with all of xTool's machines. When it travels, things go out of whack. Calibration easily fixes that and means that you get perfect results from day one. In terms of the work area, we're looking at 7.5 by 7.5 centimeters. You can extend that work area up to 40 centimeters using the slide extension. And I'll show you some of these things on xTool's website when we get to it. So those are the tech specs. Now, if I switch back over to camera, I'll show you the physical machine. So in terms of the work area, you are looking about the size of a slate coaster. So this is a 10 centimeter coaster, and you can see it does fit with some room left. Now, I have the air purifier Go attached. So when you buy the machine, this white box doesn't come with it. This is an optional extra. I have this to purify it so I can use it here in the office without it being vented to a window or the air purifier, the standalone air purifier. So if I was to show you the standalone air purifier, you can see that big box, that big white box there. That is the standalone air purifier. So that is what I used to use. And you can see there's a hose pipe. So right now, this is attached to the M2. So I have this one attached to the M2, and I have this one attached directly to the back of it. Now, this is a very, very portable machine. So it's very portable. So like I said, it's got a handle. It's added a little bit of weight to it because of this white box. But if I was to just unplug it, so I'm just going to unplug the back, and it's a single power cable that now powers both of these machines. So if I just move some of these things out the way so I can turn it around. And what we will do, I will just show you the back. There we go. So a single power cable powers both this, which is the air purifier, as well as the F2. In terms of the filter, it's magnetically attached. Back comes off, and I simply pull this out. So this is a very meaty, very weighty filter, actually. So I was quite surprised and shocked at how heavy this filter was. Tells you what it is. So it's a HEPA filter, modified carbon, and then a bigger HEPA filter, and the pre-filters at the bottom, so you can see here. So this is what you would vac out. They say 2 weeks of heavy usage. I've not really used it all that much at the moment. I've vented it outside where possible, and I've used the other air purifier for a little while. So I don't know, I can't comment on the lifespan of it. So it's that simple. I'll just push that back in. There we go. Now, in terms of buttons, if I just tilt this to the side, it has an emergency stop. So when this is engaged, the machine will not turn on. So a common problem that people have when they first buy this machine, they're like, oh no, the machine doesn't turn on. And my first go-to is make sure this button is pushed out. So if I push that in, so I'll leave that in. Now, if I turn it around to the other side, you have a dial. This is the framing button. So this is used when you send a job. You can frame in real time, and I'll show you what that button does. And you have some connectivity. So in terms of here, you can connect the slide extension here, and then you can connect the computer here. So it's got a little computer symbol. Now this here adjusts the focus of the laser. So you can make the laser go up or down depending on what way you turn it. And this is also a button that you can press in. So when you send a job to this machine to start it, you simply tap this button here. Now, if I try and put this back in the right position, might have to change this slightly. I have the base. I zoom in on the base, so I've just plugged in the power supply. And what I'll do is I will just zoom in on the base and make sure that I've oriented this in the right spot from my camera. There we go. Perfect. So you might be saying, well, this didn't turn on. I plugged in the power. And again, if I undo the emergency stop, you can see it's cranked into life. So that emergency stop cuts power to the machine. So we zoom out. There we go. Now, the first thing I want you to note is there are two very distinct lasers. So if I help you see that, what we'll do is we'll put a simple metallic business card. So xTool sell a lot of these materials. And I'll just put that in so you can see. Now, if I zoom in a bit more, there we go. You can see there's two very distinct lasers. So what we want to do is get the red dot to intersect with the blue dot. And to do that, we simply turn that dial that I showed you. And you can see the laser is going closer and closer. Now, I move it until the red dot is inside the blue dot. And now the laser is perfectly in focus. So if I purposely move that out the way, that's the manual way of doing it. If we switch over to the software, so what I'll do now is show you the software. So this is the software, and I'll show you the laser as well. And what I'll do is I'll make sure I'm connected. So I'm just going to close out of this. This is xTool Studio. This is free to download. I'll drop a link in the comments so you can download it. So xTool Studio, there we go. So I've just dropped the link in the comments where you can download it. I'll also drop a link if you're looking for a demo. So if you're looking for a demo, that website that I showed you earlier, you can find a demo with a squad member. If you're having trouble finding a squad member or are unsure, if you let me know your rough location, so closest city, where you're located, so be it in the UK or maybe abroad, I'm more than happy to reach out to squad members to see who would be a good fit for yourself. I'm more than happy to help you find a good squad member to demo with. So if you have a specific use case, maybe you are a jeweler, so you do jewelry, and maybe you want to speak to someone who does that type of work. So not just a normal host that engraves metal slabs. You want someone that works with metal. I'm more than happy to see if I can help you find an appropriate host. Now, in the software, I just want to simply click New Project. And when I do that, it will automatically connect to the last machine I was connected to. So in this case, it was the F2. So you can see here, F2, green, it's ready. It automatically took a picture. So to take another picture, I simply click this button here. So what I'll do first is I will automatically have it measure the distance. So it will just do what I just showed you automatically. It will move that red dot automatically into the blue dot. So you don't have to do it manually. There are reasons why you want to do it manually. So for example, if you have a very reflective surface, the auto measure might have trouble getting close to it, or it might fail. And that is simply because it's reflecting the light off. It's very difficult to see even with human eyes. So you always have the ability to manually tune it. There's also some reasons or scenarios where you might want to purposely put it out of focus. I won't go into them today as they're more advanced techniques, but for the most part, you want it to be properly focused on your laser, on the material. So you want the laser to be properly focused on the material. And it's literally that simple. Now that it's focused properly, I could move this into the corner. So I can move it out of the way. And as you can see, I just moved it, but it didn't update on screen. So to update it on screen, I simply click this refresh background. And there we have it. Now, we can start engraving stuff on this. So we will start by using xTool materials. So this is an xTool metal business card. So xTool select material. If you're looking for results from day one, you can use xTool material. And what I'll do is I'll drop a link to xTool material in the comments. So if you're looking for xTool material, check out the link I've posted, and that will take you to xTool's webpage for materials. Now, from the get-go, we will find something for use with Atom. So if you're brand new to laser engraving and have never engraved anything before, xTool have you covered in terms of settings and designs. So we'll set the settings correctly, and we'll just simply go metal, black metal business card. Perfect. So I've set the settings, and if I hit preview, there's nothing to preview. So it's very nice to use in that way. And if I just hide my face, I'll just show you. So I was hitting preview here. There's nothing to preview. So if we go over to get inspired by varied projects, we'll find something that fits with us. So maybe we want to do something golf related. So weapons of brass destruction. I click open, and maybe we won't do that. We'll see if we can find something that will fit perfectly on a business card. Maybe something like this. So I've just opened that. That's opened up in a new project, as you can see here. But I can simply just select that. I can copy it back over, or I can go add to current project, which is what I probably should have done. But as you can see, it's opened up in a new canvas. So if I was to hide this and just show you my screen, canvases are here. You can see how much things are in the canvas by going there. If I was to delete this, it will show a 1 down here. So 2 indicates 2 canvases. So canvases are a way that you can create a new canvas without being cluttered on screens. You can have multiple designs in one single file. Now, I'll take a picture again. And what I'll do is I'll just move this over here. And if I show you the screen, what I'm going to do is hit this framing button. And I'll have the framing set to rectangle. And I don't know how well you can see that, but it is outlining the area that it's going to engrave. So if I keep that on there, and what I'll do is I'll actually make this bigger. So I can adjust this, and you can see I can squish it up. And what I'll do is I will just make this bigger like that. I can see I've made it too big. It's gone over. And what I'll do is I'll just shrink it down. There we go. And then in terms of this, I'll just say Wayne 20. And I go, do you know what? I don't like the font there. I'll change it from lobster to something that is Comic Sans. There we go. And I'm happy with that. And that's it. So I'll turn off the framing there. I'll just move it down a little bit, maybe turn the framing back on. And I'll just have a look and eyeball and just see if I like where it's engraving. I do. I didn't have it pushed up against the do the framing again. So there's a square bracket that I have in the machine that comes with xTools F2, and it's good for squaring things off. So that is good to go. And what I'm going to do now is just check out the settings. So you can see here, material set to unknown at the moment. I'm going to change it to that metal business card, and you can see how it looks. And what I'll do is I will do 2 passes. So I like things a nice crisp white color. So I find 2 passes is my personal preference. When I do business cards for customers, these are the settings that I use. So I use the default settings, but for black, I specifically go 2 passes. Now, if I hit process, it's going to take 36 seconds. I will close down this lid. In fact, if I use my safety glasses, so I have xTool safety glasses. So if I use my safety glasses, I'll operate it with the guard open. So you can do that in the settings. And I can say that. I'll hit start. I'll hit start. And what I'll do is I'll go behind the machine. I'll start it. I'll make it full screen. So this is full screen here. I will drop this down just a little bit. And I'm going to hit the start button. So again, this is real time. And it's doing 2 passes there. And I don't know how well you can hear the Air Purify Go working. So it's working away, it's fairly loud. There's the first pass. And there is the second pass, that nice crisp white color I was talking about. And that is it. It is ready to go. Right, take that out. Now, what I'll do is I will put this underneath the desk camera. If I just switch this under here, you can see that crisp white color I was talking about. So this was with the infrared laser, that 5-watt infrared laser. And I probably should tell you, if you use the coupon code Wayne20, you can get a discount. So I'm very bad at doing that. So if we switch back over to screen, that is done. That took 34 seconds, so it said 36 initially. So it's never more than what it usually says. And it's that simple. I used xTool settings. I did 2 passes just simply because that's my personal preference. Now, what if I wanted to engrave something that there is no settings for? So with metal, it's typically fairly straightforward. You don't have to worry about burning it because it's just doing a top layer oxidized with this 5-watt infrared laser. The biggest issue with something like this is it doesn't sit flat. So when you engrave something, you don't want it slanted. It has to sit flat. So if it was raised slightly at one end and it goes down at another, as you start to engrave one end or the other, it's either too close to the laser, so it's out of focus, or too far away from the laser, so it's out of focus. So you want a flat surface. So in terms of laser engraving, I do cover this often, but what I'll do is I'll just show you in terms of safety. So you could see that I was wearing glasses. So if you do operate your laser with the guard open, you can only do that on the F series. On the M2, for example, you cannot operate the laser with the lid open. It's impossible. So it has a couple of interlock switches that know whether it's open or closed, and it just won't operate. So with the F2, I can override that. When I've done so, I need to wear the appropriate safety glasses that protect my eyes from the very specific wavelengths of the laser that I'm using. So if you're getting stuck with that, reach out to me. My contact details are on screen. I'm more than happy to point you in the right direction of what laser lenses or glasses that you need. So xTool do sell these. These are xTool glasses. I highly recommend them if you're considering using the machine with the guard open. You can buy third-party pairs. I have third-party pairs, but this, for example, I know does not protect me from the UV spectrum, whereas these protect me. So do be mindful of that. So always put your machine on a flat, stable surface. Never leave it unattended. It is a laser source. You have the probability or possibility to ignite material. So you do not want to leave it unattended. Don't modify the machine. It's made in a specific way for a reason. And ventilation. So I have this machine hooked up to the Air Purifier Go. I'll show you this next on the website and where you can buy it, what options you have for the F2. And then, like I said, I have this hooked up to the Air Purifier Go. I did have it hooked up to that big white air purifier. So you do have a couple of options for this machine. There is a couple of materials that you should never engrave. PVC vinyl. So vinyl contains PVC, so it's pretty much the same in that regard. PVC is very, very dangerous to combust. So when it turns into a gas, it's very dangerous to your lungs. It's highly corrosive to lasers, so it will damage your body and damage your machine. So don't do it. If you're looking to cut vinyl, I would always recommend a vinyl cutter. So the M1 Ultra has a blade, so use the blade to cut vinyl. There are laser safe vinyls, but as a rule of thumb, I don't cut any type of vinyl in any of my machines. So do check before you engrave. If you're unsure of the material, don't engrave it or cut it. So for example, some leathers, so even natural leather, depending on how it's tanned, depends on whether you should engrave or cut it. If the natural leather has been tanned naturally using vegetable oil, you're absolutely fine. If it's been tanned using harsh chemicals, that's a no-no. And it goes the same way for fake leather. So some fake leathers contain PVC. And like I said, PVC is a no-no. So always know your materials. If you don't know the material, don't engrave. I have a strict policy of if I don't know the material, I won't engrave it. So that's just me personally. So I highly recommend that. So if we jump over to xTool's website, and what I'll do is I will just quickly show you the Air Purifier Go. So if we go to the store, we hit lasers. You can see right now xTool have a sale on. So this is the F2. So this is the one that I was just showing you. The base model, so just the F2, not the Air Purifier or anything, is £1,199. So right now there's £100 off. You can use my coupon code to get an extra £20 off. If you reach out to me, I can also give you a slightly additional discount via Host Assist. Now you do have some combos. So combos are a way of saving money, but if you don't want the initial outlay, you can add them on afterwards. So it'll cost you slightly more, but let's just say you don't need the Air Purifier Go right now. You're not going to take it to craft fairs. You're going to be doing stuff in your house where you're going to vent it outside. Then by all means, save the money for the moment and buy it later. So for the standard setup, you do have the standalone device. You have it with the slide extension. So that is how you expand the work area. You will need a pair of safety glasses when you buy that because you have to operate it with the guard open. So I highly recommend you check out the safety glasses. And then you have the deluxe bundle. So the deluxe bundle includes the slide extension, the RA3 rotary device. So if you're looking to do tumblers, say, so if you're looking to do something like this, you could put that in the tumbler, or maybe you're doing spherical objects like the ball. You can do that in there, or rings. And then it has that desktop air purifier. So that is the one that attaches with a hose pipe and a cable. So when the machine starts engraving, it knows and it turns itself on. Now, if you're looking to do craft events, they do have the on-the-go setup. So if you're doing things and you're out and about, so maybe you're doing car boots, maybe you're doing in-store stuff, so you're going around to stores and engraving and collaborating with them, this is the solution you will be looking for. So the Air Purifier Go, this is what I have here attached to my machine. And like I said, it turns it into a single power source. So what powers the F2 also powers the F2 Air Purifier Go. When you attach it, which is really simple, I must add, The hardest thing is undoing a couple of screws, and you take out the fan. So there is a fan in the F2. If I was to just zoom over, I don't know if you can see it. Let me just zoom over to it. I don't know if you'll be able to see this. If I just zoom upwards. There we go, yes. So there was a fan there. So I undone a couple of screws and took out that fan because it's no longer needed. The air purifier has a fan in it, and that sucks out all of the bad stuff. So that was the hardest thing, and honestly, it was very, very simple. So it comes with the Air Purifier Go. Highly recommend this if you're doing things on the go, so craft fairs. Now, xTool haven't just stopped there. They've partnered with DJI. So if you know DJI, I use their mics, for example. They're well known for their drones. They're a very well-established company. So xTool have partnered with them. And you can get the F2 plus the DJI Power 100 Mini for £1,599. It's an absolute steal. So this will allow you to engrave on the go. So you can literally operate off grid. So you can do custom engravings off the grid where there is no power. So maybe you go to a field and are doing a car boot where there is no power. xTool have you covered. And then the final option is the everything. So for me, if you're going to, I wouldn't just buy that. I would buy this. I would have the purifier to go with it. This would be the bundle that I would choose, but it really depends on your specific case needs. So you can just start off with this and add the different elements later. You're not locked into buying everything all at once and having a big outlay. So with me, for example, I just brought the standard F2. I then added the air purifier, so that box. So I added the desktop air purifier here. I added that later. And then I only just recently added the F2 air purifier Go when it got released. As soon as it got announced, I knew this is something that I need. This is something that will simplify my life. And I'm absolutely glad I got it. So that is the F2. If we jump back over to xTool Studio, and what we'll do is we will do some items that it doesn't have settings for. So I have done these before. I don't have the settings saved. It's fairly straightforward to engrave something like this. This is just aluminum, and it's coated. So it's coated aluminum, and it's a bottle opener. So the hardest thing to do with this does not sit flat. So if I show you how I fix that, it's fairly straightforward. All I do is I get something to prop it up on. So in this case, we use just a piece of wood. And it's just that simple. So now this sits level. If I was to just make this full screen so you can see. So without this, this dips down with this. So I have to do this with the guard open in this case, and I'm absolutely fine with that. If I just kick it into life, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to manually focus it. That simple. So now that is done, if I switch back over to here, and what I'll do is I will update the picture. So you can see here that it's still got this design here. And it could be that I just want to use this. So I'll duplicate this. I'll make this smaller. I'll turn this black. And it could be that you're doing several of these. So by that, I mean, maybe you're doing an order. Maybe you have an order of 6 of these to do as Christmas presents for a customer or a birthday gift. And they all have different names. So if I was to get a couple more of these out and just show you how you could do some batch processing, and I'll get a couple of different colors out. So all I'm going to do, we've got it into focus. It's all the same material. It's just different colors. And what we will do is I will just place these in the area. So if I show you what I'm doing, I'm just placing these in the area. And it's just that simple. It might be that I use, yeah, perfect. So I'll take an updated picture. And you can see there, Wayne 20, and it might be that I just put name here for the variable, and I'll make this bigger. I'm just going to undo that. I'm going to lock the aspect ratio. I'm going to have it like that. So there's a couple ways we can do a batch import or batch these out. So the first way is the manual way, where we give them names. We go name 1, name 2, name 3. We won't do that. In this case, we will do the set variable. So I've right-clicked set variable. If you don't want to right-click or don't know how to right-click, some people use Macs and they're not sure how to do a right-click. You simply go over to Useful Tools. You've got variable design. It will take you to the same place. So here, I'm going to click on that where it says name. I'm just going to delete that, add variable, and I'm just going to say name underscore variable. Next. So the first one can be Wayne. The second one can be xTool. And the third one can be Ryan, say. So here you can see name variable 1. If I hit duplicate, name variable 2, duplicate, name variable 3. So I'm on a Mac and I'm duplicating using the Command key and D. Alternatively, you can right-click, copy, right-click, paste. You can see 4 names there now. So you might say it still says name. You're absolutely right. Now, if I hit variable preview fill, you can see how it's changed it. Now, if I delete that, you can do a batch fill. So over the side here, you got useful tools. It's got batch fill. These are physically different material. I shouldn't say physically. These are the same item, but they're physically different colors. So I'm not sure how this will work, but we'll give it a test anyway. So frame out the material. So I will go over here and we will see how this is going to work. I have absolutely no idea. I do this with items that are the same color, same shape, same everything. So I've never actually tried it with different colors. So this is a good test. So right now it's sent this information to xTool. So you can see here network required. There's 2 different ways to do batch fill. You can do it locally where it sends nothing to xTool's servers to analyze, or you can do the network required version, which is more accurate. So I'm hoping that it will identify the different colors and do a batch fill. So imagine you had an M2, a big gantry with the space, and you want to do batch filling, and you don't want to have to keep doing what I just did. You got 100 items in there, and you don't want to have to do it 100 times. You could have xTool analyze all the material in there and automatically place it in there. So this is taking a while, so I think it's struggling. So if I just switch to the local version and just see how the local version, I have a feeling the local version may or may not do it. And that is simply because of the color. I have 3 different colors, so it might be getting confused. In this case, it failed. But if we do the same thing, if I show you this, but with different material maybe, so maybe we go, do you know what? We don't want to do these. We will actually use xTool. We'll use the batch fill, but we'll do it with different material. So maybe we want to do these. There we go. So what I've done is I've put in different material underneath there. I've manually adjusted the focus. And again, we still have this batch fill. And I'll just change the name over this way. There we go. And I've just moved it just so I like it the way it is. So I'll highlight that and I'll go frame out material, fill. And this is the local version. And you can see, boom, it's done it. So this one here, it's going to go over the hole, which obviously we don't want. So do bear that in mind when you're doing batch fill, especially if there's a specific orientation. But generally speaking, it's got it in the right place. And if I was to hit preview, you can see it there. If I change the material, so we do have bamboo. If I go to my material, it actually does have the bamboo weight AI detected using the M2. But if I was to just type in bamboo, we can find bamboo there. And if I was to do a preview, you can see how it looks. So some of the features that xTool's added in this new version, new increment, if I just show you that, so I can say, do you know what? I want to do different settings for all of these. So I'll do this one as pink, this one as blue, and this one as yellow. So this doesn't change anything inherently, but it means that I can know that this has different settings than this. Otherwise, it would be pink or all blue or all yellow. So here, I'm going to select the default. The blue one, I will make it go slightly darker. And for the yellow one, we will have it go all the way to this one here. And if we hit preview, can't really see it on here, but if I was to change the material, we do a lighter wood, maybe a pine wood. There we go. We do a pine wood, you'll be able to see that. There's no, go to wood, let's find a lighter wood that has we're just looking for a lighter wood that can really highlight maybe the birch. There we go, birch plywood. We'll do birch plywood. So we'll do this one. So it's got its blue light settings, the default. So I click on this, I'll go with the default for that. I'll go with darker for that. And finally, I'll go with that. And if I hit preview, you should see the difference on this. Again, maybe not. You can see there it is lighter, there it is darker. I don't know how well you can see it, but you can see certain nuances with xTool's new software. And not just that, if you are new to laser engraving, you can download this software today. You can even connect it to machines that you don't, I shouldn't say connect it, you can even test out machines you don't have yet. So I've been testing out the O1. So I can delete all this, and you can see here O1 template. I've been literally testing things out on the O1, doing cost settings, so seeing how much it costs to make a print. So right now I have this printing, I don't have any of the others set to print, and I can see that the output is off. When I click on it, I can have a look. So it's an accurate preview. So I don't have to click that. I could just simply click on this and turn it around here. I could go, do you know what? I'm going to change the settings now from white and color to color, white, color. And you go, what does that do? Color on the back, there's white in the middle, there's color on the top. So if you're doing an acrylic ball like I am, you want to be able to see if it's a clear acrylic ball. If I have it just white in color, when you look at it from the back, you'll just see white. If you look at it from the front, you'll see the color. So if I change this to white color varnish, or in this case, white color, or where is it? Color, white color. There we go. Color, white color. That you can see. And it could be that I go, okay, do you know what? I'll duplicate that. I'll put that in here. And this one I'll have as white in color. So if I do a preview, it will preview the ones that it can see. So if I was to disable that and just hit process, so it's just showing the one that has color, white, color. So you can see here, color, white, color. 3.5p, 8 minutes, 15 seconds. So 8 minutes, 15 seconds, 3.5p. 5 minutes, 46 seconds. So we can say it costs 1p more to be able to do color, white color. Now you got to ask yourself, is that 1p critical? Is that going to be make or break? In my case, it's not. It's going to be more the time. So it's went from 5 minutes and 46 seconds to 8 minutes and 14 seconds. So if we just say it's about 2.5 minutes longer, or even if we just round it down and go 2 minutes longer, is the 2 minutes longer for each one going to be critical? So when we're looking at the amount that I'm doing here, 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, if it's an extra 2 minutes, it's an extra 40 minutes to print out an A3 on the big plate. So I have it set on the big plate. And again, you can download this software today and try it out. This is what makes xTool different. Their software is absolutely fantastic. It's easy to use, and you can download it for free today. It only works with xTool machines, but if you don't have a machine, like I don't have the O1 yet, you can see up here it's not connected. I'm not anyone special. I am still waiting for it to be delivered just like everyone else. I ordered the day it was released. I'm in the first batch, thankfully. I can test stuff out. So a lot of people are upset that it's not here yet. You can still get designs ready. I've been busy making designs ready for Christmas, and you might be saying it's only August. I work at least 3 months away from a major season. So Christmas, things go crazy. You don't want to be making your designs in November, and you definitely don't want to be making them in December. You want to be getting the word out there well before then. You want to be busy making orders, not making the designs. So I'm busy now getting everything ready. These are personal ones, so I've got designs ready for Christmas, so for people's gifts. So hopefully those people aren't watching. I've used xTool's AI Make to be able to turn images. So this was my brother's wedding earlier this year in July, and I was easily able to turn that low res image. You can see here warning. and I use the AI make, so create with AI, turn it into something that is print ready. Look at the details. So is been able to capture the essence. So everyone pointing out like that to the cameraman as he took a picture, it's captured that nuance, and then it's turned it into an illustration. So my brother's eyes here, it looks like his one eye here is closed. It's hard to tell because it's so pixelated, as you can see. Whereas this, the eyes are open. So for me, it's done a fantastic job, and that's all within xTool Studio. If you want to find out more information how I did this, maybe tomorrow I'll go through it with you on how I go about generating my AI images using xTool Studio. That's all the time I have for today. Again, I'll drop my contact information in the comments. If you want to reach out to me, if you have any questions, please do feel free to reach out. And again, if you're having trouble finding a host local to you, please do reach out and I can find an appropriate host towards you, or maybe towards your business needs. So again, if you're in a specific industry, I can see if I can find a host that is also in that industry and they can answer your questions specific to the industry that you're in. So I get asked questions all the time about different industries, but it's always good to speak to someone whose industry that is. And again, I'm online tomorrow, so Friday and Saturday, both at noon, so 12 o'clock GMT. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you again